Hello, mate. Good evening. I'd like to talk about plans, trading plans, that kind of stuff. And I'd like to just give you this quote that I got from a book that I read. Just finished it. It's Dune. You well know the weakness there. Shield your son too much, Jessica, and he'll not grow strong enough to fulfill any destiny. His plan has good points and bad points, as any plan would at this stage. A plan depends as much upon execution as it does upon concept. Well, I just think that's so profound. A plan depends as much upon execution as it does upon concept. See, as traders, there's so many times where we just go ahead and make a plan, and by concept it's so good. It's so good. I don't want to lose too much. That's my loss limit. Yeah, that's great. Or I'm just gonna compound my money, and the next trade or the next trade day, I'll have more money so I can risk more. Okay, that's simple enough. And conceptually, it all makes sense. Conceptually. But we don't understand that it's hard. Well, we don't understand that a plan depends as much upon execution as it does upon the concept. So how are we going to execute the plan is probably underlooked. And I think it should be more important than the concept itself. Or just maybe 50-50. I don't know. I mean, if a plan is good, but then it cannot be executed, maybe you have behavioral issues where you can't take a loss that big, so you start not taking the daily loss limit, or you're inching your way around it, and you're just starting to break the rules, and then you're not actually executing the plan anymore, and that's a breach. That's a breach, that's like a submarine, and the window's open a little bit, and it's got water pouring in, and it's a fucking breach, mate. And as a trader, you can't have that. Unfortunately, I mean, I wish I would, but I've tried that, mate. I've had a lot of times where I've tried and it doesn't work. And I'm telling you right now, the way to do this is exactly that. A plan depends as much upon execution as it does upon concept. Your trading plan should be with you have to be thinking, how am I going to follow these rules? What things that I can do to build me confidence or build me habit to be able to follow the rules, the habit to follow the rules. Should I make the daily loss limit small so then I hit it more often? And every time I hit it, I flex the muscle of following my rules. And look at all the times, the past 31 trading sessions, whenever I hit the daily loss limit, I followed my rules. And that's just what I do. And then the next big day or whatever you want, and you're having temptations to be like, fuck it, mate, I can make this back. Come on, let me play. You follow your rules. You say, no. Look at the past 31 times. I'm not defiling my record. Get the fuck out of here, demon. And then you can continue. And guess what? Investors are going to see that. You are going to see that. You're going to see the results, and you'll be like, well, every time my losses are the same. My losses, every time I lost money, the daily loss limit or whatever, it's negative $200. Every time. You don't have a loss bigger than that. I just think that's fantastic. Anyways, we're getting off topic. Is the whole point of this, the trading plan needs just as much concept as is execution, just as much execution as is concept. So when you develop the trading plan in whatever format you got, my words are just saying, try to focus on how, answering this question, how am I going to follow this? How am I going to execute this? Know yourself, introspect into your own limitations and your own behavior and your own feelings. Put yourself in those trading days and say, am I going to actually follow these rules? Or is this just going to be some nice drawn up concept and me never following them? And I'm not saying this is not a talk about how to follow the rules. There is a lot of things we can do. You can modify the rules to make them a little bit easier. Like I said, you can modify the plan to literally flex the muscle of adherence to the rules. And I think that is such an important thing to note. But more than anything, remember that the plan depends on execution. Okay? So be able to execute the plan. I like the concepts, but sometimes you have to lower the concepts a little bit so that you have a very good chance of actually executing the plan. And secondly, I like the trading plan. Is an absolute must in my opinion, to be able to have like a plan B. If you're trading, and something happens, make a mistake or something, whatever, you have to have some plan B. This is what I'm gonna do. It's protocol. I'm maybe not just protocol like, oh, the internet goes out and you know what to do. You have your phone or something like that or whatever. Those are like business rule protocols. I'm talking about protocols like if things aren't working, if you're consistently losing money, or if you break one of your rules, what's your plan B after you do that? Is it just YOLO at that point? No, your plan B is, okay, well, I'm gonna simulator for two weeks. Yeah, that's what you're gonna have to do. And if you can't do that, you have no control over yourself. At that point, you're fucked up. At that point, you got to go to Gamblers Anonymous. If you can't control your own body, you can't trade simulator. That's gambling. Okay, so that's important. But there's a lot of things to work out in trading, of course. But I just want to say that just when you have a plan, just really focus on execution. Really, really focus on how you're going to execute that plan. And once you finally make it where you actually executing your plan to a full picture, everything, whether you are making profit or not, you're going to be a lot happier. There's going to be a lot less up and down emotion. There's just going to be, you're following the plan, and there's peace to that, mate. There's peace to that, and there's control. You have never felt control. Now you feel it. Now you'll feel control because you're actually steering the ship, because you're actually following the rules that you yourself write. It's fantastic. And it's really, really important. But, just read this again and just relate it to your trading, and I think that's the move, mate. So, a plan depends as much upon execution as it does upon concept. All right. Peace and harmony. Yeah. All right. Peace, dude.